How to know if something is good or bad? There is a story, it's called Chinese Farmer Story, or originally The Old Man Lost His Horse story. It's an ancient Chinese story originating around 2nd century BC. I have mentioned about this before. If you are not familiar with it, you can um, read it here. You can uh, stop the video, pause the video, and read this story here. So basically, in summary, there was a Chinese farmer, and uh, he had horses, and the horses ran away, and then came with more uh, horses, uh, wild horses, and the son of the Chinese farmer tried to domesticate the horses uh, and broke his leg, and um, the barbarians attacked, and because the son's leg was broken, he couldn't be employed as deployed as a soldier, and uh, he uh, wasn't killed due to this event. Um, so this is used as to say there is no good or bad. We don't know. In the long term, things can lead to anything, and every good has some bad inside, and every bad has some good inside, and we don't know. Of course, from our everyday experience, um, this is not fully true. There is some truth to it, but I will try to explain briefly why this story is half true and half wrong. Um, so, first of all, if we say that we don't know what is good or bad, we can just justify bad things. Just on purpose, we can just do really evil things and say we don't know anyway, right? So this is um, obviously there is something missing from this story, and the missing thing is the natural balance. Uh, so the more correct version, interpretation of this story would be that we don't know what is good or bad when we are um, away from the natural balance, because when we are pushed away from the natural balance, everything becomes chaotic, and we lose harmony, and we can't see the patterns anymore, um, because the patterns disappear, they get disturbed until a new pattern is established in the future, a new harmony. So during this period of transition, uh, during this chaos, of course you can't say what is good and what is bad. So in this story, there are multiple things. For example, this story is not uh, told in a natural setting. There are domesticated horses, which is technology, which is novel thing. There are soldiers, territories, barbarians, um, fighting, killing each other, which is organized uh, violence. So these type of things are novel, and they are not natural for humans or horses. Um, and so you can see where I'm going with this. Um, we can know what is good or bad when we are living in natural balance. So let's say in natural balance, we know that, uh, for example, uh, drinking poison instead of drinking water will kill you. So you know uh, what is going to happen, and you know that it is bad for you. Similarly, if so, this is just one person. The system is limited. It's just one person. If we look at the whole system, we know what is good for the whole ecosystem, whole nature, and what is bad in natural balance. So we can say that uh, you know any novel technology, as I have described before, would disrupt the natural balance and harm the ecosystem and eventually reduce the harmony and cause suffering in that ecosystem. It is close to impossible to improve a natural ecosystem because it is already um, developed, established harmonies over millions of years, and any disturbance would just set it back. Um, so, in summary, what I want you to take from this video is that this Chinese farmer story, when you listen to it at first, it makes sense and it just brings some relief to your life, saying, you know, I don't know if something bad happens, you can say, okay, let's see the good in it, etc. But in the big picture, as I have mentioned, when there is novel things introduced, overall it is bad for the whole system. When we speak about individuals, let's say here we were just focused on the boy, right? Or the horses on the boy. Just, is it good for the boy or bad for the boy? But the boy is a very tiny part of the whole system. So if we look at the whole system and ask the question if it's good for the boy, good for the whole system or the bad for the whole system, we can then answer these things. For example, domesticating horses is bad for the whole system, or having militaries is bad for the whole system. So when we divide ourselves and look from our egos uh, in the during the chaotic phase of the disturbance, disturbance of harmonies, we can't say what is good or bad. But from the whole system perspective, we can always say what is good or bad. And what is bad is the disturbance of harmonies by the introduction of novel technologies, novel techniques, novel ways, which is not in harmony, it's very, very fast changing. You can get this idea from my documentary, The Connections 2021, short documentary, or read my book, The Connections 2023. It's also an audio book on YouTube, and you can get the full idea of why this is the case. So there is some wisdom to this story, but it is not the whole picture, and it is kind of an egoistic story, just focusing on an individual. So Taoism here, in the biggest, the most purest sense, knows this already, knows what I told already, and this is just simplified, very crude way of describing Taoism with this story. It is not the full picture, as I said. Okay, I hope this made sense and added to your understanding of what's going on in this world. And go vegan, live minimalist. Thank you very much for listening, and see you in another video.